Beirut, Lebanon. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad met with his governmental group concerned with measures to tackle the emerging coronavirus epidemic in the country, presenting an economic plan for the Public Trade Corporation through which it intervenes as a shared merchant who can coordinate with producers and consumers and break the monopoly that merchants do. President Assad revealed during his meeting the government concerned with the procedures to confront the new epidemic of the coronavirus that the country has gone through unprecedented conditions because of the measures caused the virus. The Syrian president pointed out that the low number of deaths confirms that the data issued regarding the spread of the virus is realistic, indicating that the number of infections may be greater because not everyone has been examined, and considered that the low number of deaths is a positive indicator. He put forward the idea of the governmental trade corporation entering the markets effectively as a merchant trader to work to break the monopolies. President Assad indicated that the government should be more dynamic in addressing these points and act quickly, but deliberately, to enhance the role of public sector institutions if it was to grant them the necessary powers or change their internal systems so that these institutions are more flexible and capable of positive intervention, and then there will be results and quick positive repercussions on citizens and soon. He added that opening markets to farmers to sell their products directly to citizens inside the cities in many regions recently, in addition to prosecuting violators and tightening penalties against manipulators on the issue of prices, bills and trafficking in subsidized materials will create a deterrent in front of the greed of some traders. Maklouf says government forces arrested his employees amid pressure for him to step down from his business empire. Sanctions hit Syrian tycoon Rami Maklouf said security forces were arresting employees at his companies in an inhumane way amid pressure on him to step down from his business empire and pay millions of dollars in tax. Maklouf, a cousin of President Bashar al-Assad and widely considered part of the president's inner circle, has a business empire that ranges from telecoms and real estate to construction and oil trading. He played a big role in financing Assad's war effort, Western officials have said. Today pressures began in unacceptable ways and the security forces, in an inhumane way, are arresting our employees, Maklouf said on Sunday in a video in an unprecedented attack on the powerful security forces by one of the country's most influential figures. Mr. President Assad, the security forces have started attacking people's freedoms. These are your loyal supporters. The situation is dangerous and by God, if we continue, the situation of the country will be very difficult, Maklouf said. The security forces made no immediate comment. Maklouf said in the video he had been asked to step down from his companies, including Syriatel, the main mobile operator and main source of revenue for the sanctions-hit government. I have been asked today to step down from my companies and take instructions while I close my eyes. Authority is not given to put pressure on people to give in, he said. Did anyone expect the security forces would pounce on Rami Maklouf's companies who were their biggest supporters and their patron during the war? He said he would not bow to pressure to hand over his wealth. The billionaire has been under U.S. sanctions since 2008 for what Washington calls public corruption, and it has since toughened measures against top businessmen who are close to him. The European Union has also slapped sanctions on Maklouf since the Syrian conflict began in 2011, accusing him of bankrolling Assad. Maklouf became a hated figure to many pro-democracy protesters who rose up against corruption and the authoritarian rule of Assad in March 2011. Maklouf, who belongs to Assad's Alawite minority sect that holds political power in Syria, owes his fortune to Assad and was seen by many Syrian businessmen and others as a frontman for the president and other members of the ruling family. The tycoon was rumored in private business circles last year to have fallen out of favor with Assad. But until a first video he released on Thursday, he had kept out of the spotlight. In Thursday's video, Maklouf lashed out at his critics who accuse him of monopolizing sectors of the economy through political patronage, saying his businesses and a charity arm had provided thousands of jobs for Syrians. He said he would appeal to Assad to allow Syriatel to reschedule the payment of taxes. He said the government's demand for 130 billion Syrian pounds $300 million was unjust but that he would comply. Maklouf said in Sunday's video that he would not bow to pressure to hand over his wealth to powerful rivals, whom he did not name. This is an attack on private property. What I already have is something I cannot give up, he said defiantly.